Welcome to this week's Summer Journal Reflection. As we journey through this season of renewal, I invite you to pause, breathe, and create a sacred space for yourself. Whether you're listening while taking a quiet walk, sitting in your favorite corner at home, or finding a moment between the busyness of your day, know that this time is yours to reconnect with your deepest self and with the divine. This week, we'll be exploring living animated and motivated and allowing it to gently guide our thoughts, prayers, and intentions. As you listen and later reflect in your journal, remember that this practice isn't about perfection, it's about presence. It's about honoring the unique path God has designed specifically for you. So settle in. Open your heart and let's begin this week's journey together. Your authentic voice and honest reflections matter deeply, not just to your own growth, but to the beautiful tapestry of purpose you're co-creating with your Creator to bring to the world. Week 8, Animated and Motivated. As summer reaches its fullest expression, there's an unmistakable energy in the air. Gardens overflow with vibrant colors, farmers' markets burst with abundance, evenings buzz with lightning bugs and laughter. Everything feels more alive, more animated, more vibrant. Perhaps this is why summer offers us such a perfect picture of what it means to be truly alive, animated and motivated by God's Spirit, rather than merely going through the motions. Imagine walking through life with a heart so light, so unburdened, and so alive and animated with the Spirit of God. Our interactions are no longer mere transactions, but sacred encounters. Every smile, every word, every act of kindness becomes a manifestation of the Spirit's movement within us. We become conduits of divine grace, artisans of love, sculpting a world that reflects the image of God. Galatians 5:16 says, "My counsel is this: live freely, animated and motivated by God's Spirit." Living freely, animated, and motivated by God's Spirit transforms the mundane into the miraculous. It infuses our lives with a sense of purpose and joy that transcends circumstances. It invites us to be fully alive, fully present, and fully engaged with God, ourselves, and those around us. This week, let's explore how summer's natural vitality can teach us about living with the kind of animation and motivation that comes not from our own striving, but from the indwelling Spirit of God. Observations of seasonal living. Summer pulses with energy. Birds singing, gardens growing, storms building. There's a noticeable difference between forced activity and natural animation. Nature demonstrates effortless abundance when connected to its source. The most genuine motivation flows from deep joy, not obligation. Sensory notes: texture, wind-tousled hair, and sun-kissed skin, alive to every sensation. Sound: thunderstorms that wake the senses, reminding us of greater power. Scent: garden herbs releasing their fragrance when touched, sharing their essence. Feeling: the dance between warm sunshine and cool water, energizing contrast. Have you noticed how often we confuse busyness with being truly alive? We can fill our schedules, check off our list, rush from one obligation to another, and still feel strangely empty, disconnected, unmotivated at our core. It's like we're going through the motions of living without experiencing the fullness of life. I love this instruction that we find in Galatians 5:16 that says, "My counsel is this: live freely, animated and motivated by God's Spirit. Then you won't feed the compulsions of selfishness." The original Greek word used here for animated is peripato, which means to walk around. Paul uses this walking metaphor to describe how believers should conduct their lives, being led, guided, and essentially animated by the Holy Spirit. Summertime can be a surprising teacher as we witness hummingbirds dart between flowers, not because they've scheduled nectar gatherings between 2 and 4 p.m., but because they're following their natural design, drawing life from the sweetness that sustains them. This is what Paul was talking about, I think, when he encourages us to live freely and animated by God's Spirit. It's not a frantic striving to appear spiritual or productive or good enough, but a natural expression of the life of God flowing through us. When we're connected to the source, really connected, not just going through religious motions, there's an authentic animation that others can sense. Our kindness isn't forced, our joy isn't manufactured, and our generosity isn't calculated. We give because we've received so abundantly. We love because we've been so thoroughly loved. We're animated by something, someone greater than ourselves. This animation by the Spirit, it isn't just occasional inspiration, but a continuous state of being spiritually powered and directed. It's about allowing God's Spirit to be the animating force behind your actions, decisions, and creative expressions and relationships. Here's some prompts to prayerfully process. Summer's natural vitality provides the perfect backdrop for exploring what it means to be animated and motivated by God's Spirit. These questions might help you discover areas where you're already experiencing this spiritual animation and where you might open yourself to more. Do you feel you are living freely animated and motivated by the Spirit of God? Where do you sense this divine animation most clearly in your life? Do you struggle with loving others as you love yourself? Do you truly love yourself as God does? How might a deeper experience of God's love for you transform how you love others? This week, how can you give away to someone what you have so freely received? What specific act of generosity or kindness might flow naturally from your experience of God's goodness? Season of now. Find a place where you can observe something naturally animated by its design. Perhaps birds at a feeder, or bees visiting flowers, children at play, or even just leaves dancing in the breeze. Take 3 deep, nourishing breaths. And as you do, imagine breathing in not just air, but the very life and presence of God's Spirit. Now, watch how the creatures or elements you're observing move. Notice how they don't seem to be striving or forcing themselves to fulfill their purpose. They're simply being what they were created to be, drawing from their natural source of life. Ask yourself, what would it look like for me to move through my life with this same natural animation? Not pushing or striving, but simply allowing God's Spirit to flow through me, animating me according to my unique design. Natural observation. Summer's natural world demonstrates what it means to be truly animated by design. The vine doesn't strain to produce grapes. It simply stays connected to its source, and fruit appears naturally. Butterflies don't have to remind themselves to be colorful. Their beauty is an authentic expression of what they are. Birds don't sing from obligation. Their songs flow from their essence. All of creation displays the difference between forced function and natural animation. When each created thing remains connected to its source and true to its design, it contributes its unique gift to the world, not through striving, but through simply being what it was created to be. Where do you notice yourself working from obligation rather than inspiration? In what areas of your life do you feel like you're pushing rather than flowing? What activities make you lose track of time because you're so fully engaged? How might these be clues to the unique ways God's Spirit animates you? Sacred awareness. Sacred pauses. When did you experience a moment of feeling truly animated this week? A conversation where words flowed effortlessly. A task that energized rather than drained you. Where did you notice yourself pushing or striving instead of flowing? Divine details. What summer abundance reminds you of God's generous nature? How might these glimpses of abundance be invitations to live from a place of more than enough rather than scarcity? Spirit's movement. Where do you sense the Holy Spirit animating you most naturally? In hospitality, in creativity, in compassion, in truth-telling, in celebration? What might change if you focused more energy on these areas where divine animation seems to flow most freely through you? Sacred spaces. What places or circumstances help you feel most alive and connected to God's Spirit? In nature, in worship, in deep conversation, in creative expression? How might you create more space in your life for these experiences where you sense God's animating presence most strongly? 90 Days of Intention, Week 8. Connection. How will I nurture my connection to the source this week? What practices help me stay rooted in God's presence and love? Flow. Where do I sense God's Spirit flowing most naturally through me? How can I remove obstacles to this divine current? Expression. How might I become a more authentic expression of God's love to others? What unique gifts or qualities is the Spirit animating in me? The God that designed and formed you knows you better than you know yourself. Your Creator planted the seeds of His image uniquely in you and desires to co-labor with you in revealing the beauty of His goodness and mercy in the world. He desires to walk with you through every season and is faithful to complete what He started in you.